What don't people know about what you do that you wish they did?
I think the logistics side of the business and the amount of tasks and parts that go into the life cycle of creating a piece of merch is really interesting. And I think that it's definitely something that I think should be more well known. I think that seeing the life cycle of how an order comes to be from the ideation and putting together the graphic design to doing sampling and then putting together mocks and how it actually runs through the production life cycle, whether it is produced in house or whether it's being sourced from overseas. There's a lot that goes into it and there's a lot of different steps throughout the entire process. And I think that that's something that's not as commonly understood by either artists or by customers. And I think that that is an interesting component of our business. And I think I think the more knowledge that our artists have in that, the better our working relationship tends to be. So, I think that's the most least known facet of what we do.
You should probably do a video of that.
We've thought about it and we've kind of put some videos together with how an idea becomes a sketch, becomes a piece of merch, right? But I think seeing the process of even how the cotton in the blank t-shirts are sourced and how they're ordered and how they get delivered to our screen printing shop, those are all kind of ancillary things that happen to come together and can create our product. So it's definitely a complex supply chain.
Is there anything proprietary that you wouldn't let out?
No, because I think it's just systems and processes that we've built over the years that suit our business,
Hmm.
right? I don't think there's anything inherently proprietary. I think just our team, I think they're throughout the years and their knowledge base has grown, and it's just the way that we operate our business. It's a lot of manpower.
Yeah. What advice would you give to an indie act, let's say, that's looking to get some merch and just doesn't have any experience?
I would say keep it simple. I think that the biggest, I don't want to say downfall, but the biggest risk, especially from a profitability standpoint, would be ordering too many products and ordering too few of too many products. So having 25 units of 17 different products is like, it's not the most cost effective way to go about it. So back to my point earlier, I always advise our artists to try to keep it simple, small, condensed product line. And I would say that making sure that the merch represents your artistic brand and your vision, that's crucial. And partnering with a company that can understand that and be able to deliver for that, or deliver on that for you is crucial.
See, I would think it would be purchasing too much of an item because of the price break at a certain point.
It gets cheaper the more that you purchase. So
Right.
I feel like especially now with the advent of being able to sell online, which is a service that we provide our artists. Yeah, you never want to get overloaded with inventory, but what's good is that there are multiple options for how artists can sell their merch. They can go out on tour, right? And they can
Mm.
sell it at their shows, and then they have the option to process the leftovers into the store and sell it online. So it's nice to give multiple sales channel options to our artists. That way, even if they do end up in the unfortunate situation where they might have a surplus of inventory, they have options for how they can sell it.
Do you do any print on demand?
We do, yeah, and that's a great option, especially for new designs and new ideas that maybe are not tested yet, and just to be able to gauge fan reaction. I think print on demand is a great tool for that.
Yeah, especially for online. Well, online is the obvious
The only,
place. It wouldn't
yeah,
work any other way.
yeah. I mean, that we've seen artists use QR codes at their show, right? And they can
Yeah.
fans can scan and check out online, and it gets delivered. Some of that is print on demand, so it's almost like a blend of both. Online and tour. It's kind of the functions of them are becoming closer and closer.
Is there one problem that you have in your job that vexes you that you wish you can get rid of?
There's quite a few every day. Every day is a new problem, and like I said, it's because this is a logistics heavy business. That is really where I spend a lot of my time, is trying to make sure that we're kind of protected at all areas and that there aren't any landmines with our supply chain. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of different tasks and at different points to the product to be ordered and actually delivered to the customer. So that is where a lot of the pain points come, where a simple UPS missed delivery or having the boxes deliver an hour late can really can really screw things up for a band. So, there's a lot of the details and logistics that take up a lot of my day.
Taking a step back and taking the 10,000-foot view, considering where you're at in the business, you have a unique viewpoint on this. Do you see any trends in the music business that affect what you do?
Yes. I mean, I think that there's definitely a lot of trends in terms of direct to consumer and fan engagement that directly impacts our business. I think the ability to have a custom web store that also doubles as your main website, that also doubles as your fan club and your VIP ticketing hub. I think that the consolidation and everything kind of being artist centered and not having to lean on third party channels to be able to sell these things. I think that's a big trend that we're seeing, that we have been seeing really for the past 10 years. And that's really something that I feel like we caught on to early, which is why we've always pushed to have artists selling through their own custom stores that we build them. And we want to make that the central hub for all of their business, right? We love when they sell their VIP tickets through their website and they do custom content and song releases through the website, because that is really a channel that they own, that they can use to best connect directly with their audience. So that's probably the biggest trend that I've been seeing over the past, call it 10 years, that directly impacts our area of the business.
Now, I know you help them with e-commerce, but does that also include putting together a site for them as well? I know there's an e-commerce component there, but would it also include everything else, like you just talked about? Yeah.
Oh yeah, we build the site from beginning to end. We take care of all of the e-commerce design and all of the web store maintenance, and we help them at every step of the way for their e-commerce site build.
Okay, that's very cool.
So we try to make it easy.
That solves a lot of problems, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd say yeah. Especially, it used to be so difficult, I feel like, to set up a custom store to sell product through. You have to learn how to, either you had to know how to code or you had to hire someone and pay them some absorbent amount of money to build a custom website. And it's just not the case anymore. It's a lot sleeker, and it's a lot easier to be able to set up a website and a web store now.